Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Dudes Watch a Movie podcast.
We made it.
We did it.
3 years running strong with that 12 average views.
And we do have to start with some unfortunate news for all 12 of you. You may have noticed that there is an empty seat at the table right now. Our friend Lance went to a bar in Mexico 3 weeks ago and has not been seen since. Our hopes are still strong, even if his will isn't. We hope that someday he'll just come barreling through the door like he always does, very Kramer-esque without the racism. Yeah. So rest in peace, Lance.
Shame. That being said,
Oh yeah, it's episode 49, and we watched From Dusk Till Dawn. What do we start with? I didn't even pull up the thing. It's only season 3, episode 49, and now I have no idea what we do anymore. So
to be fair, we've been on like a month and a half break.
Yeah. Lance went to Ohio, I think, or Texas, or definitely Mexico, and I went to Alaska, and you went to the bathroom. Yeah.
How was Alaska?
Alaska was sick as fuck.
Did it really have as many mosquitoes as Funhouse claims?
It did not. I only saw one. It was large.
Oh, you real sculpture?
No, a legit mosquito.
Oh.
But other than that, I did get bit on the forehead at some point when I was hiking on a mountain. And that was it. So I consider that a win all around. So what's your trailer thought?
My trailer thought seems like a campy action vampire killer film.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. That's pretty fucking spot on.
Yep.
The only thing that I took from it was, man, that 90s voice and how much I miss it.
90s voice.
They had the trailer voice guy in the trailer. It was awesome.
Yeah, you don't hear him all that much anymore.
No.
It's mostly just movie dialogue.
Yeah, and the only time you hear it now is in parody. And I'm waiting for that comeback. Did you make up a tagline?
Yes, I did.
Oh, shit, what was it?
Vampires suck.
Is that the actual tagline?
No.
Oh, well, I would have seen that. That would have made sense to me. I went with no thanks. I already had a wife. I was a big fan of that one.
That was a impromptu line, by the way.
Was it?
Yes.
It was pretty fucking garbage.
The actual tagline of the film was cheap drinks, loud music, vampires. This will be one hell of a night.
That's pretty fucking weak. Yours is way better.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, hit us with that cast, because there's a lot of people in this movie.
You want me to go through the full list?
No, just the important ones.
Oh, well, that's a problem with Wikipedia. When you look up the cast, they kind of just throw them in there.
Yeah. So George Clooney.
George Clooney as Seth Gecko. Quentin Tarantino as Richard Ritchie Gecko.
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette Lewis as Catherine Fuller. Mm-hmm. Ernest Liu as Scott Fuller.
Yep.
Selma Hayek as Santico Pandemonium.
Santanico Pandemonium.
Cheech Marin as Border Guard, Chet Pussy, and Carlos.
Yes. And the dad was Harvey Keitel.
It's probably on there somewhere, yes.
Yeah.
We've got Tito and Tarantula as the Titty Twister House Band.
Yep. A real band.
Scott Hawks as Pete Bottoms, the liquor store cashier. I'm trying to find other ones that seem relevant.
That's about it.
You
There's
got
cameos by
Tom
other people.
Savini as Sex Machine.
You fucking bet. Do you know who Tom Savini is?
I don't.
He
looks familiar, though.
He is like the godfather of all special effects. Like, especially practical effects for horror movies.
So he was in there, probably did most of those too.
Mm-hmm. Worked on like the Dawn of the Dead movies, the Day of the Dead movies, a bunch of stuff.
I don't really. Let me list that as a topic of discussion really quick, just overall thoughts. But yeah. What else was there? I think that's it.
I think
Razor Charlie, Danny Trejo.
That's true. That was the one I was waiting for you to be like, hey, look, it says Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo.
Greg Nicotero is another super famous like prosthetics and makeup kind of guy. He's the one that pulls the knife on Sex Machine, and then he unleashes the Sex Machine on him. Why don't you? I think next is our box office details.
Goosebumps, cool. Box office details. I'll get into that. So the budget Just take a guess. With all the special effects that was on the budget, estimate.
Not a lot. I don't think it'd be a lot.
20 million.
A lot of it's practical. Yeah, that's not too bad.
19 million, actually. But it made on opening weekend...
This is the part that I'm interested in because I have no idea if this movie did well or not.
10 million. 10,240,805.
On opening weekend?
Yep, opening weekend in the U.S. Gross worldwide is 25,753,000. Cumulative worldwide gross 33.
That's not too bad. That's not terrible.
Oh, not at all, actually.
But
it had a wide release apparently in January 1996. The movie came out 19th of January 1996.
You would think it would do better with the names involved, but I guess now thinking at it, a lot of the names in there
weren't big at the time either.
Yeah, Clooney was still coming off ER, and
that was his first feature film.
Yeah, and it's Robert Rodriguez's first, not his first movie, but his first like big movie. Because a lot of people
Rodriguez.
The guy that directed it.
Okay.
He did like the El Mariachi. No, what is it? It's El Mariachi, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Those movies. He did Spy Kids. And but he did good movies too, like Planet Terror from Grindhouse.
That's why it had that feel to it. Mm-hmm. Like it just over the top for the sake of being over the top. Yeah, yep. Sin City. El Mariachi, Spy Kids, Planet Terror. Boy. He also did Machete Kills in Space.
Yep.
He's announced for the producer of that one. Apparently,
frequent collaborator with Tarantino.
Which I've seen Tarantino cameo and stuff, but I've never seen him as an actual actor.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He always seems to pick the worst person, doesn't he? Like he's always just the biggest piece of shit.
And,
but God,
does he do that by choice? You think?
I mean, he has a choice.
I mean, he was a screenwriter for it, so
yeah,
he's got some screenplay.
But I mean, Django, he plays like a super racist Australian dude or whatever.
I can't remember off the top. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but
what's your why don't you go into the little small spoiler-free overall thoughts on it? Because I got some things that I'd like to talk about that I can't in this part.
So overall thoughts, spoiler-free. Yikes. It kind of reminded me of a more humor-filled version of a lot of the other vampire films I've seen. Mm-hmm. Like ones I think that comes to mind is like Vampire 2000.
Dracula?
I think it was maybe Dracula 2000.
With Hyde?
Is it the one where they wear like the neck collars and stuff?
I don't remember.
There's a vampire movie I remember seeing.
I watched it in Mexico in Spanish, so like a lot of that movie escapes me. I just know it had Hyde from that 70s show.
I noticed that a lot of the movies I saw, it always took place in a desert. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere will have like vampires in it. And the movies I remember seeing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even just secluded towns like 30 Days a Night, which that makes way more sense.
100%. Actually, I've got the comic for that, and it's a lot more, I don't know, intense, I suppose, but it goes on longer than the film. Mm-hmm. You were in that, so sorry, we'll go back to your Alaska trip.
I didn't go that far.
No, but you said it was like 11 o'clock at night and it was still daytime.
I never saw the night sky once. Like, it was ridiculous. It was always, I could always see outside.
I've heard of that, and I thought that would be terrible.
Yeah. Well,
so you're on a boat and it's daytime all the time.
My cabin didn't have any windows, so that was no problem. It was awesome in there. It was pitch black.
That's probably why they did that.
Yeah. But when we were at Denali, like I stayed up until like 1:30 in the morning, just because at this point I was like, I need to experience this. I need to see the darkness again, and it never came, and I fell asleep.
Then you saw the darkness.
Yeah. I would say this is. I love this movie because it's just silly as fuck.
It is.
But it's definitely something for if you like Tarantino movies and Rodriguez movies. If you don't like it, like if you didn't like Django, or if you don't like those like over the top violence and gore and cheese ball kind of movies,
cheese, yes,
not gonna be for you.
I want to meet someone who doesn't like those type of movies. Probably not interesting. I could be wrong, but I just feel like it's one of those blanket movies that everyone enjoys at least a little bit.
You know, I don't know that. I think Sawyer might be the type that doesn't, if I remember correct. Just basing that off of him saying he didn't like Grindhouse, or at least he didn't like Death Proof, which I hear a lot of people don't really like Death Proof. They like Planet Terror better, the zombie half of it.
I don't know if I saw Death Proof.
Death Proof's the way better half. It's got Kurt fucking Russell in it, first of all, and he plays Stuntman Mike. and I think I talk about this like once every 5 episodes, but he's like, he builds a stunt car that he can just smash into people, but he's fine because it's built to take the impact.
So it's like Death Race, but not?
Kind of, but it's more of a murder instead of trying to get out of jail.
Gotcha.
And they do a crazy, like, it's all real stunts, and that's the big thing that I like about these movies, and like this movie is, you can tell there was very little CGI, if any. It's all very practical, which to its benefit and its detriment on certain scenes. Like sometimes it looks a little, that's part of what makes it cheesy, which I also like it. But yeah, for more, let's head on into the discussion.
So my first discussion, what we want to talk about, maybe if you want to, vampires in film. My question is, what would you think makes for a good vampires? What would you think would make for a good vampire in the film? Also, if you had the ability to alter it in any form, what would you like to see? I also have more questions.
So, like, what vampire would I like to see in this movie, or just what do I like from vampires in movies?
So, like, overall, like, zombies in film, they always change how they kind of act.
Okay,
There's,
yeah.
like, the quick zombies, the slow zombies, the ones that at work this way, the ones that want to feed on brains, or the ones that... Like, the part that I never understood about some zombies, like, they'll bite you, and then they'll move on. Like, is it a point to try and infect, or is they going to sit there and eat you? So then how do they repopulate? So the same kind of thing goes with vampires.
And why would they care about repopulating too? Yeah,
Exactly.
It makes more sense with vampires, but then you're also more mouths to feed, which gets weird.
Right. But I mean, you've got like blade vampires, Nosferatu.
Yeah. Personally, if I could be one, I would be like an underworld one, because I feel like it just looks super sexy.
Have sex all the time.
All the
Leather
time.
everywhere.
But if like I would, in terms of what I would like out of a movie, I like them to be more along of this line where they're more like a monster. I don't much like Dracula's cool, but he also is kind of fucking boring.
Like, he's old fashioned as fuck.
And like I'm going to seduce you. I don't know why he was Borat. I'm going to seduce you. I'm gonna stop. I can't figure it out. Which that can be cool, and like there are movies where that works, but I mean more often than not, I just want a vampire to be fucking terrifying looking monster that you have to fight
humanoid.
off. Yeah,
I got you.
This one goes a little too far, and they almost look more like trolls sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
kind of my thought too.
But the show makes a bit more sense out of it. They're not really vampires.
I was wondering why they had that snake look about them, but I mean, I guess snakes have fangs, so so do vampires, so maybe it works.
I don't know. I feel like in terms of, I guess it does depend on the kind of movie, because I mean, I wouldn't want to see these kind of vampires in Twilight. That would be fucking weird, right? It would probably make me like the movie more though if Bella's like sucking tongue with one of these guys, you know? But I don't know. I like to be afraid of the monsters, and I don't want to like join them. I feel like I wouldn't want to look like one of these guys versus
like the point is you don't want to be a vampire.
Yeah, I would want to be one of those. I would want to be like Dracula. I would want to be like maybe not Nosferatu. He's a ugly fucking chud, but definitely wouldn't want to be one of these guys.
No. What else did I got there? So overall, I guess I'll put my topic on there. Vampires in film. I'd like to see... I like the Blade style vampires.
They're good, yeah.
And on that note, the whole fact that like once you're bitten, you're kind of who you are for the rest of your like I guess your looks. So I mean, like if you're super old and you get bitten, you're just gonna be an old hag for the rest of your... That sucks. Because they're always like, you can be beautiful and have all the flings you want, and be like, well, I passed my prime and now I'm 70 years old.
The opposite would suck too. Well, I don't know for sure that it would be past the prime in terms of the way you feel though, because I think as a vampire you're like supernaturally endowed in every way, but looks wise you would. But I mean, you could be a silver fox. You could probably figure your way out as a vampire.
That's true.
The opposite is like an Interview with a Vampire. Kirsten Dunst's character gets bit when she's like 12. So she's constantly 12 forever.
Boo. How old are you? 400 years old.
Yeah,
but I'm 12.
Yeah. That I think would be way worse. People just like, oh, are you lost? No, I'm fucking hungry.
Starving.
I never had a dick.
Can you imagine being that vampire that wants to consummate with that 12-year-old, 400-year-old?
I don't see her age. And the cops are like, all right, buddy, well, we do, so we're shutting you down.
Right. It's like the argument about anime characters.
100%. They're wrong, too.
Oof. My other thing, I guess it wasn't so much a question topic of discussion, but the special effects in this give me a real Goosebumps vibe.
Yeah. A
Like
lot of
just
slime
that, the slime and the melting away, but a whole hell of a lot more violent.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of my say on that.
It's also a much higher budgeted version of it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Especially like when you see like half a face missing and the ooze and the brain and everything. It was like, yep.
You imagine how much that took to put together, and it's only on screen for like 10 seconds.
That's what they get paid for.
That's true.
That's what they make the big bucks for.
Speaking on that special effects, I did hear that since they did so well, something along the lines of doing well in the film with the special effects, that when Quentin Tarantino went to make Reservoir Dogs, the guy who did the special effects for this film did it pro bono for him, because they were friends.
When Reservoir Dogs come out before this?
I think it was after.
I think Reservoir Dogs came out like 92, 93.
It'd help if I knew how to spell reservoir.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Bam.
Because didn't Pulp Fiction come out like 94?
Maybe it had to do with something else. Yeah, because Reservoir Dogs came out in 92. It had to do with something that...
The next one would have been...
I'm trying to think.
Kill Bill. No, there should be one before Kill Bill.
I read it somewhere. Either way.
Yeah.
Basically, the ear scene on there was done for free because of Quentin Tarantino's like influence on something. I don't know. That was kind of interesting.
Or it could just be the same guy that worked on Reservoir Dogs. I don't know. What was your other... You had the other question about vampires in this movie.
Oh, no. It was just basically like, what do you think qualifies to be a vampire?
Oh.
Like, what do you think should qualify to be a vampire?
I think it just has to be the sucking of blood, right?
I suppose, but you get a lot of that I'm going to eat you vibe versus...
That's true. But, see, these are almost like a mixture of a vampire and a zombie, and they did it way better than...
Is there like different forms? Feral versus like maybe regal?
Probably.
ones?
Probably. Well, so... that campaign I was running, there definitely were, like, there were sewer dwelling ones that were way more like these ones that are more just like out to feed and eat. Mm-hmm. But these almost, because they definitely get triggered by the sight of blood, and they go for the neck. But they'll also bite any part of the body, yeah. But at that point, it could just be to turn them, so it's one less thing to fight. So I don't know, it was kind of confusing. In the show, they definitely are not vampires. They at the end you see the big reveal that it's like a Aztec style ruin, and so they're descendants of that, and there's some sort of curse on them, and they're like reptilians basically, which I guess makes more sense. To be fair, people. They only say vampire because that's the first thing that they assume, but then the cross and the holy water works, so I don't know. These are all the questions I don't have answers to.
What a surprise.
Maybe it was all a hallucination.
Speaking of that club, that strip club was actually inspired by Apocalypse Now.
The titty twister?
Yep. He modeled the exterior of the titty twister on Kurtz's compound.
Okay. I want to know what their pyro budget was. Like, how much money do they have to be spending to shoot flames 24/7?
I mean, if they're stealing from like semis and all that stuff, maybe they just get the fuel from there, from the truckers.
Valid. Maybe. My point of discussion, right? So this is in the Tarantino Universe, because they go to, what is it, Kahuna Burger. The cop at the beginning is related to, it's played by Michael Parks, and he is, I believe it's been confirmed, he's related to the character that Michael Parks plays in Kill Bill, and in he's in another one as that same character. And chronologically, this might be the final one in order, because that could be the same cop. I cannot remember that. His name's Earl.
Pulp Fiction come out?
I think in 94. But like timeline of the universe, I'm saying I think this is the last one on that timeline, technically. But that means that supernatural things exist in Tarantino's universe. So I want to know what Tarantino movie would be better with supernatural stuff thrown into it.
I think Kill Bill.
Right?
Because, like, it would explain as to why they're all, like, super badass.
Uh-huh. They're all superheroes, or they've got, like, the magical power and, like, punching your way through.
Yeah, they have all sort of, like, outlandish skills. I would like to see it in Reservoir Dogs, though. Just some gangster superheroes, you know?
See, I was thinking Django would be a good one to have.
Ooh.
To have some supernatural shit go down in.
But where?
See, that's the part where I'm struggling. Is I can't figure out, like, would it be zombies? The other one, the first one, I guess I technically popped in my mind is a movie I still haven't seen, The Hateful Eight. Trapped up in the cabin. Wendigos hit. I think that'd be pretty slick. But then I think that becomes this movie at some point. You know?
How have you not seen that? Just not interested?
No, I just haven't got around to it.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it looked good.
It is kind of long.
There's a version on Netflix now where they cut it into 2 parts, and I'm probably gonna watch that one.
Did they do extended, or is it just legit cut in 2 parts?
No, it's like 4.5 hours now.
Oh, geez.
So they added a bunch of stuff to it, and it I think it's 2 or 3 parts. It says it's like a season now, but it's just the movie in its full extended form.
It's a lot of storytelling. Wow.
You bet. And it's got Kurt fucking Russell.
He hasn't aged well, to be fair.
Yeah, he has. He's aged pretty fucking all right. He's like 98. Snake Plissken.
You know, I just thought about another vampire movie. The one with Fight Club, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, that's Interview with the Vampire.
That's what it was. Okay, I just want to make sure because I didn't know if there was one that had Keanu Reeves in it or not.
That is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Is what?
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
He was in there?
That's the one where he's like, in the woods with wolves.
I didn't know it had to do with vampires.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you bet. He's playing the guy that goes to Dracula's castle. Lance, what's your favorite? All right.
Good one. I remember that too.
So back to this Tarantino character. Even though it's not his movie. He seems like he'd be one of the most like annoying people to be around. Not the character, the actual person, Quentin Tarantino. Like his voice hits me on the right level of like when they're in the bathroom and he's like, crazy like a nut. What? What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying that I'm crazy like a nut? Because where I come from, that's fighting words. You don't call someone crazy and you don't fight them. That's just, you don't do that. And I was just like, oh my God. That man is lucky he's his brother, or else I would have decked him like 30 seconds ago.
He's got like I don't want to say necessarily like a real nerd vibe in his voice, but boy, it's that my nose is closed and I'm talking type of.
And like, I just, knowing that he has a foot fetish now.
What?
Oh yeah, he's legit got a foot fetish, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh. That explains a lot.
It got kind of weird because last time I watched this movie, I didn't know that, and I was like, she put her foot in her mouth, and he keeps looking at her foot. His character is a weirdo. No, Quentin Tarantino's a weirdo, and he wrote this fucking movie, or at least helped write this fucking movie.
Yeah, he wrote the script for $1,500.
Not a bad get.
No.
Not a bad get.
No.
That scene, you were telling me that she is deathly afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
Which, like, you said that before I got too far into it, and now it's super noticeable. Like, when she's doing the bit with the snake, like, she seems super not confident and, like, kind of slightly worried. And as soon as they take the snake away, she starts walking. It's like, oh, look, she looks like she's
chill.
Yeah, she's totally good and now. Yeah.
Apparently on that scene as well, just like in Sin City, there was no choreography. Yeah, choreography. For her dancing, they just told her to feel the music, and they did that same thing with Jessica Alba. And
they were like, be sexy, and she's like, I'm Selma Hayek, and they're like, oh right,
you did it.
Yeah,
gold star.
Hell yeah.
For real though, they were gonna replace her with Madonna.
Nope.
I'm glad they didn't.
That's a hard downgrade. That is a hard downgrade. Look, I'm sure she would have still been really pretty in the 90s, but she's not fucking Selma Hayek.
No. What other movie is she in that it was the one with the she was the leader of some gang cartel.
Selma Hayek?
Yes. I feel like.
Is this Wild Things?
No, it's the one where like that has the picture of the Sugar Skulls on the cover, and these brothers are like hijacking it.
I don't know. She's been in a lot of movies, and I used to always get her and Penelope Cruz confused.
Maybe that's what I'm getting her confused with. Penelope Cruz. What's she in?
I don't know.
Oh, Selma Hayek. She's also in Frida. That's where I remember right off the top of my head.
That's right.
Savages. That's the movie I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
She was in that one. Which I like that movie. Not a lot of people do. It's kind of dumb, but I didn't mind it.
Do you know Mexico has their own version of OSHA?
Does it exist?
Yeah, I looked it up because I kept seeing all the dancers that are standing up in like the cutout things, and I was like,
Where it's just a ledge.
Yeah, no safety rail, none. So they would get shut down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Although then the OSHA people would get turned into vampires. So I guess it's a perfect con if you think about it.
Let's draw on the OSHA people with their unsafe dancing and get some more vampires.
You know who was actually pretty fucking good in this movie, watching it again, that I didn't really expect? George Clooney. Like, it's weird to think that he went from this to Batman, and Batman was so garbage. But in this one, like, he kind of is a scuzzbag. Like, he still looks like George Clooney, so you don't fully buy it. You're like, he looks like a really nice guy.
He always plays kind of like the suave part, regardless. Yeah. Like, even if he's like a thief, a bank robber, a superhero.
He is a bank robber a lot, isn't he?
Yeah.
His big
like
roles.
Ocean's 11 and
12 and 13.
But yeah, no, for Selma Hayek, so the quote on IMDb reads as, she has a real fear of snakes and has always refused to be near them. Naturally, when she read the script, she knew her phobia would prevent her from taking the part. So Robert Rodriguez conned her into thinking that Madonna was ready to nab the part instead. So Hayek spent 2 months with a therapist to overcome her fear.
That crafty bastard. Hey, she did it, though.
Right?
So
but
we're all winners.
Shame on her for believing Madonna was going to take her part.
Yeah. You got to have better confidence than that.
Why would Madonna be a stripper in Mexico?
Well, I mean, it is Madonna, so it's your answer to every question. Just like I am Batman. Well, fuck, I had another thing. Now I'm lost because I'm thinking about Madonna as Batman.
I just read this. Apparently, before George Clooney was cast, they were either going to use Antonio Banderas, been a good choice. Yeah. Steve Buscemi. No. Michael Madsen.
Okay.
Tim Roth.
Okay.
John Travolta.
No.
Or Christopher Walken. That one really kind of threw me off.
That I don't know how to react
to. I don't know how he would react to vampires.
That could have been amazing or not. I don't know. It's still in the 90s, so he could be kind of scary.
Right. I just imagine all that drawn-out dialogue.
I'm surprised Michael Madsen wasn't in the bar, though. He should have been one of the characters in the bar for sure. And I could definitely see him playing Sex Machine.
Yeah.
He's the guy from Kill Bill and cuts the ear off in Reservoir Dogs.
He looks like the dude, or is he the dude that plays Chaos in that? No, he's not the dude.
No, it's a different guy.
He looks close, but not quite.
Kind of. They got the same like eyes and general facial features.
Hair.
Yep. Steve Buscemi's a big nope.
No.
Cannot take him seriously. He could have been Richie. I would have accepted that. That'd have been fine.
One of the extra fighters.
Not even. No, he'd have to be the weird brother.
It's just those eyes, though.
Antonio Banderas would have been a good choice.
Yep.
And that would have made sense with him. He's worked with Robert Rodriguez a ton. I don't know if you've ever seen El Mariachi. I can never remember the second one. And then the third one is Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I think.
I haven't seen that one either.
That one's super good. That was my favorite one.
Is that the one that You've Killed My Father, Now Prepare to Die?
No, that's Princess Bride.
Oh.
That's Inigo Montoya.
What's the time? Is that the one with the machine gun in the guitar case?
Same film series.
Okay.
That's the third one is what I'm talking about, and it's got like Johnny Depp in it. At this point, they have a pretty decent budget, and Johnny Depp's like an FBI agent who's corrupt and shit. Super good.
Sex Machine's crotch gun can be seen in Desperado, which when they search the case and the false top starts to flip.
Desperado is the second one.
Gotcha.
El Mariachi is the first one. And Selma Hayek is in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That's the other one that I know her from.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez did Desperado. That's right.
Yeah, he did that trilogy. Which reminds me, the whole reason I picked this is because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out in like 2 weeks, if that. And it's Tarantino's newest movie with DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
I have not seen. I feel like I have seen the trailer for this.
Oh, it looks like it's gonna be fucking good. Margot Robbie's in it, and she's
1969 Los Angeles. Yep. Okay,
yeah.
I think I remember now.
Yeah, which I did not know what it's really about until I saw the trailer, and holy fuck, that's gonna be fucking sick. As soon as she was like, "Hi, I'm Sharon Tate," I was like, "Oh no!"
What was it about?
I don't know if I want to ruin it for people.
I think you did tell me because
Yeah.
it's about the people who did the things with the. Okay.
You fucking mad.
Right.
I just want to be in the theater like when people are like, oh. Because when I saw that in the trailer, I was like, oh. That immediately took me in. I was like, fuck yes, I want to see this movie.
100%.
Is there anything else really? Like, I didn't have a whole lot of notes. This was kind of one of those movies where it's like, definitely not the high art we normally watch on this show.
What is the fake deep?
Not even that.
It's not really a deep movie. It's
not even fake deep. It's just like, it's definitely
that's
popcorn.
what I'm saying, it's not fake deep.
Yeah, it's like, hey, just watch it, have fun, enjoy it.
It's a movie for the fun of it,
for sure. And I think they hit the right amount of silliness to never fully like jumping overboard to where you're like, okay, this is fucking dumb.
Even the characters don't have a whole lot of depth to them,
right?
But I mean,
there's that part where they pose and we're like, oh, it's a video game.
I could tell immediately too, though, like when they started doing, like when they got inside the bar and then they just had the random shots where there's the guy with the crotch gun doing the little whip thing, and then they got the dude with the cigar just doing his. I'm like, who are these people? Why do I care what's going on? And it's like, oh, okay, because they're just play a part.
They just had to get that one little bit of character info in there so they could trope it out.
Exactly.
Which I love. I love the black dude talking about Vietnam during the monologue. As Sex Machine's starting to turn, and you just see him like acting out how he's shanking all the Viet Cong. And he's like going on and on. He's like, he's like trying to he keeps trying to hide everything.
I was expecting silly noises to happen, you know?
Yeah, totally could have.
Because didn't they do that in Batman? Yeah.
Totally did that in Batman. Well, that's the difference.
It's a comic book.
See, that's where they go too far. Schumacher would have been like, remember, it's a cartoon. Speaking of monologuing, I also really like the fact that they get together, they beat the initial rush of the vampires, and they get over the shock. They're like, I don't fucking believe in vampires, but I just saw fucking vampires. I guess it's fucking vampires. And then they're like, quick, let's formulate a plan. Stakes work. Their skin's really soft. You could probably lop their head off. Crosses, holy water, all that. Hey, we got a holy man. You a holy man? And then he does a whole monologue about how he needs to be the holy man. And he's like, okay, I'm a holy man. And then it just cuts over to the black guy, and he's like, I was a holy man once.
And he just goes.
And that's what fucks them. They never get to enact their plan because they both monologue so long that they get bit by Sex Machine and the vampires take over.
Selma Hayek's character did the same thing. Just sat there and monologued over top of Seth while he was loading his gun. She just kept talking.
Yeah, that's true.
But on her end,
on her end, that's hubris of being the undead or immortal. But on their end, I just thought it was funny because it's the opposite. Normally, it's the bad guy that monologues and gets fucked for it. But in this case, the good guy's monologued and got fucked for it. Never see it. Subverted my expectation.
I was a little disappointed though that her character didn't play a bigger role. Like she was kind of there, she turned into it, and then just got killed off. It's like
I can't remember how popular she was at the time because I don't remember when Frida came out either. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is like early Selma Hayek, and this is like, because if she was the big name she is now, she definitely would have been like a main character and would have been in it 3 times like Cheech Marin.
Would have been in it a much longer time.
Yep.
Selma Hayek, she is pretty.
You fucking bet.
She's got that face though that would be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and be like, I'd believe you.
Yeah, do it.
Frida, 2002.
Oh yeah, so this is way before that.
She was Rita Escobar in Wild Wild West. Decent film.
No, but you died.
I did get the sunglasses from Burger King.
Oh, that's not where I was going. I was about to say I vividly remember the part where she's wearing the pajamas and the butthole thing is flapped out. And I was like, yes, ass.
And then she was Carolina in Desperado.
Yep.
Weird.
Good movie.
Yeah.
You got anything else that jumps to your mind about whatever movie we fucking watched? I was about to say Once Upon a Time in Mexico because now it's on my brain.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Rated R.
Earned it.
Honestly, I don't really have anything else on there other than Cheech plays 3 different characters, as if we didn't know that already. Which I thought was kind of interesting why they did that, but whatever.
It's also one of those things too where it's like it's hard to really get into it. It's kind of like if I had to describe this movie to someone, I could tell them like basically what you said for the plot.
Fever dream.
Yeah, and then just be like, you kind of just have to watch it.
Right.
I can't. You can't properly get across the feel of the movie just by description. At least I can't. I'm not good enough with words to do that.
I mean, the trailer does it enough, though. Honestly, the trailer almost, I wouldn't say spoils it.
I think it does. I think if you don't know the vampires are coming, it starts out as like a man. This is like
it would have been a lot more insane film.
Yeah, because at that point, the good first 40 minutes is the brothers just trying to get to Mexico because
Feels like a typical
they robbed a
Tarantino
bank.
film.
Yeah, you think there's gonna be some like big standoff with the law at the border and all that kind of stuff, and then they get there and they're waiting. All right, well the cops are gonna burst in. Nope, vampires. What was your what the fuck moment?
My what the fuck moment was Dick Gunn. Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
I had a runner-up was the man who just pulls a heart out. Because I literally said, what the fuck?
Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Whoa. Oh. I was looking down and I saw my WTF and my favorite scene in MVP, and it was all stuff from the last one. And I was like, I filled these out. And then I looked up like 4 lines and I had new ones. It's like, oh, there it is. Yeah, my what the fuck was Sex Machine. 100%. Just.
Okay.
The first time I saw that, I was like, I think I did a literal spit take. I just.
It's just so outlandish.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I believe that was a practical effect. I think he actually did have a cock gun that was operational. My big question, knowing how guns work, how pulverized is his penis?
Pulverized?
Because he shoots that thing.
I mean, it looks like it's on a real thick, like...
I mean, the recoil is still going to go somewhere. Like,
yeah, it's going to spread out over that leather crotch piece that he has it sitting on, I feel like. It's going to suck.
I think he's shredded down
I also don't think it would shoot at all because the barrel, the cylinders are on the side, and there's just a barrel, and it's like, how does it shoot? Whatever.
What was your favorite scene?
Walking away from the explosion like it was nothing, still fighting at the very beginning, where they're just walking out of that liquor world.
Of low profile.
It's just blowing up, and they just like they've been through this a million times. Right. So what the fuck?
That's one of the first real good indicators of the tone of the movie too. Because it starts out like super Tarantino with like a 10-minute talk between the cop and the guy at the liquor store.
That's kind of how they start. Yeah.
He likes to get like a real like subdued, like, oh yeah, it's just talking. Then oh look, shit's happening.
Subvert expectations.
Mm-hmm. My favorite scene was Santanico Pandemonium, which is Selma Hayek.
Why?
2 reasons. The left one and the right one. I jest. One, because that's where shit kicks off immediately afterwards. Also super hot, but also I like the song that plays in the background. I think is pretty fucking sick too. And I do think watching it this time, I was like, I'm pretty sure part of that whole dance is a hallucination on Richie's part, where she goes to the table and does the foot thing. Because there's multiple times where he just like has.
I wish they would have done that a little bit more. Like, I mean, they did it like once, and then.
I think that was enough though, because he keeps saying. At first, you think he is a psychopath, but he's like I saw him tell him that to help us, and then when you actually see him see her, you're like, oh no, he actually thinks he's seeing it. He's like schizo or something. But I think that's definitely my favorite scene for mostly because it was super.
How about in Lance's absence, we should guess what his what the fuck moment was. What would you think?
Probably the part at the end when the disco ball killed everybody.
I could see him arguing that. Yeah. Either that or the I don't know how gatekeeping of monsters he is, but like his take on the vampires.
God, if only he was still with us.
I know. I'm sure we'll see it in the comments section because his astral spirit will type out comments on.
That's actually he's told me that his religion is internet based, so when he dies, his soul will go to the web. Who's your MVP?
My MVP, I'd have to say it was Seth. Honestly, I hate that it's like a cop-out because you're kind of supposed to like the main character, but I liked his suave, cool, calm, collect, I'm a thief, and I'm going to keep a level head about this and be cool. So
I thought for sure you were going to pick Sex Machine, which I may have picked. So it's either him or Harvey Keitel, because I liked him too, like his whole speech about... You're such a loser. You don't know when you won. I was like, oh shit.
Father moment.
And then he just seems so like he's really good at playing like this pent up but calm man.
I feel like he should have been in Jurassic Park for some reason because it kind of reminds me of the Doctor.
A little bit, yeah. Or he played a really good devil, like in Little Nicky when he was the devil.
But he did.
Tits on the head.
Yep.
What are bigger, tits on the head or some hack? Which one? It's 2019. That's inappropriate. Shit, that was From Dusk Till Dawn.
This may be our shortest episode.
I think honestly the movies we like more are the ones that do end up being the shorter ones because it's just you don't want to give too much of it away.
There's not a lot to bitch about either.
Right. And it's like you could keep going, but at some point it's just a circle jerk of how good the movie was.
Oh, John Wick.
Ah, yes. Yes, I'm surprised we didn't go longer. Yeah. So we'll see you next time. Just the two of us. Episode 50, where we will watch another movie, which Tom will be picking, so it'll probably be garbage.
Rude. What if I just pick one of your favorite movies?
It'll still be garbage.
Oh, I can't wait for you to argue that point.
I'll commit.
Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Oh my god, I got this shit. That shit so bad. I was like dancing for the last half of that.
I'm gonna wrap it up, Tom. Wrap it up. I gotta poop.